Art imitates life was a phrase we heard many times last year from Doc 9 and Miss Moline. I set out to discover if food also imitates life. I talked to restaurateurs, shop owners, and farmers, and asked them all the same question: what can we learn about Maryland through its food? My first stop was the annual crab soup contest in Annapolis, held on the grounds of the Navy and Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Normally held in late September, this year the contest was delayed by a hurricane and was not held until November 22nd, which is after crabs have gone out of season. Relying on the reserves of crab meat, local restaurateurs brought their best soup to the competition. They competed in 3 categories: Maryland crab soup, which is a crab and vegetable soup in a tomato base, cream of crab, and an original recipe category. I talked with some of the chefs and restaurant owners who participated in this contest to get their unique perspectives on Maryland's food.
It's all the ingredients from around the local areas. The crab meat.
My name is Michael Kay. The website is Michael.
Actually, I do not use a crab base in my soup. I use a chicken base and a vegetable base. You want to use the freshest crab meat you can. And a secret, I shouldn't be telling you this, but is the fat of the crab, the mustard. It gives it a distinct flavor. I won the crab soup contest approximately 9 times in the last 15 years. So evidently it's pretty good. I use fresh crab meat. And a local, the blue crab, the blue swimming crab. The ones down south, colder the water, the sweeter the meat of the crab. That's a standard rule. So the crabs, Chesapeake Bay is known for the best crabs because of the very cold. So farthest north. From Delaware, of course. Well, I'm serving a cream of crab. We also serve a Maryland crab soup, which is a red crab soup. Use fresh corn, fresh local vegetables from around the area with the crab meat. It's tomato based. Now that really shows the flavor. That's probably the first one that was introduced in Maryland, and then came your cream of crab after that. That really shows the true flavor. Now oyster stew is another thing. Using fresh oysters now to make an oyster stew, and the liqueur of the oysters, it really can't be beat as far as Maryland goes. We're known around the world for that also. The oyster stew. So, I mean, all of our cooking, if you cook here, it's wise to take advantage of what you have around you. And we have a lot of resources. We have the bay, rockfish, fresh fish, perch, there's many different sturge, anything, oysters, crabs, soft crabs, and we're known for that, so you might as well take advantage of it.
As I talked to more chefs, it became clear that they were interested in preparing fresh, simple food, highlighting the ingredients that are found in Maryland's waters and farms, and utilizing the recipes and traditions of the Marylanders who came before them.
Maryland has, I guess what we call a Chesapeake Bay flair. A lot of the food in Maryland is based around seafood in the Chesapeake Bay, whether it be fish or crabs, a lot of shellfish. You'll see that as vegetable crab soup has been deemed Maryland crab soup across the country. Similar to crab cakes, we've kind of picked up the same type of thing. You have a lot more salt in the food. Like Old Bay is primarily salt. You see that in a lot of different things, or seafood seasoning, whether it be Old Bay or a different brand. It does have a little bit more salt, a little more red pepper. In terms of the other big thing is freshness. Because we have the Chesapeake Bay at our back door, we're able to provide a lot more fresh seafood than a lot of places. I mean, even the crabs, not all of them even come from Maryland. A lot of them come from Florida and North Carolina. And us personally at the Crab Shanty and Sea King, we ship steamed crabs back to North Carolina and Florida because they like the way we do them better in Maryland. We're a 45-year-old company where all the recipes essentially are a lot of the recipes started from the originator. and the in terms of Maryland, I mean, the old style recipes like our crab soup or crab cakes or something like that definitely defines what one would expect for Maryland seafood. How else they would showcase Maryland? I mean, a lot of everything we do is we promote freshness and quality and also sustainability. A lot of the thing is trying to promote freshness, whether it be food that's caught that day and shipped up that evening for the next day's service and different things.
Everyone knows the face, walking crooked in that town. The night turns to day.
The variety, and of course crab. Everything that has to do with the bay. Crab soup, steamed crabs. Everybody comes to Maryland for steamed crabs. I cook the soup the way I like it, and I try to stay away from a very tomato-based soup, and I try to be flexible on the way I make my soup, because I think in the past, when Marylanders could make crab soup whenever they wanted, when there were enough crabs in the bay to do that, sometimes you would get crabs from here, or you would buy a pound of crab meat and throw that in, or some crab claws and that kind of thing. I try to keep the base consistent. I'm not going to give away all my secrets, of course, but like I say, I try to get away from the tomato base. Land of pleasant living is reflected in the food, and that's the spirit I make my soup with.
With its location on the brackish, cold water of the Chesapeake Bay, Annapolis is a perfect location to catch shellfish like crabs and oysters, and its chefs prepare their food with a sense of Maryland's long history and a responsibility to protect the traditions and cultures of the land of pleasant living for future generations. My next trip was to the capital of Maryland, downtown Annapolis. Home to the State House, the United States Naval Academy, a large marina, and many shops and restaurants, Annapolis is not only Maryland's political center, but also a cultural one. On Main Street, just 2 blocks from the water and surrounded by delis, upscale restaurants, a bed and breakfast, and several fudge shops, I found the Annapolis Ice Cream Company, which is owned and operated by Mr. and Mrs. Guerra, who have lived in Maryland their entire lives. They sell natural, homemade ice cream and the best hot chocolate in Annapolis from a small shop decorated with 2 themes, stuffed penguins and approximately 9,000 ordinary plastic spoons decorated with market drawings by customers and employees that now cover every wall. Mrs. Nancy Guerra explains the origins of the spoon tradition.
Really, one of our employees at the time, she loved to draw, so she used to draw on napkins or anything, and she pulled out a spoon one day and just drew on the spoon. So we liked it and stuck it up on the wall, and then she did a couple more spoons, and then some of the other kids that worked here started drawing on spoons, and we kept sticking them up on the wall. Customers saw it and thought that looked like fun, so they wanted to know if they could do it.